Hey guys, how's it going? So as promised, I'm going to show you how to take the power of Make to build an automation that gives you the ability to create a custom value across your entire HighLevel agency footprint. So it doesn't matter if you've got one sub account or 10,000 sub accounts, you can use this automation to create those custom values across the entire agency footprint. So let's get into it. So the very first thing that I need you to do, if you don't already have a Make.com account, go into the description area below the video, click my Make.com link. That's my affiliate link. I would be grateful if you were to use that to create your own Make.com account. So once you've got your Make.com account created, go into the account. On the left-hand side, let's go into scenarios. This is where you go to build out an automation inside of Make. So the very top right corner, let's click on Create a New Scenario. And I need you to do one more thing. So we can go through here and build the automation from scratch, but I'm going to make it super easy for you. Go back to the description underneath the video, and you'll see a file that's labeled Blueprint for this, and it ends in a .json file extension. Let's go ahead and get that downloaded onto your local computer. Once that's downloaded, go back into the new scenario area of Make and click on these three dots, which is the More button. So click More, click Import Blueprint, and we're going to choose the file that we just downloaded. And so we're going to search for GHL, and it's going to be this one here called GHL Custom Values All Subs.json. Click Open and click Save. Okay, so now this is the automation. So the very top left corner, let's highlight this and let's give it a name. So I'm going to say custom, actually I'm going to say GHL Custom Values. And I'm going to save it. Now let's talk about this for a moment. So there's only 3 modules. Each module is considered a separate process. So click on the first module that says Extract HL Location IDs. Let's talk about this. So this is taking advantage of the HighLevel API URLs. And so this is what we're going to use for that particular get method. So we're going to use this. We're going to use a get method, and we're going to authorize it based upon your agency API key. So it starts off under the value box, bearer, space, and then your agency API key. So where do we get that? Let's go into your agency inside of HighLevel, click on Agency View, go to Settings on the left, and then on the left-hand side, there's going to be this API Keys area. So click that, and then you'll see Agency API Key. Now, if for whatever reason you don't have an agency API key created, you can simply say Create New, and it will create one for you, okay? But once you have it, go ahead and click the clipboard, go back into the automation and paste it here, just knowing that we've got the word bearer, space, and then the agency API key. Once you have that pasted in, click OK. And I like to save as I go, so make sure you click Save. So what this first module is going to do when you run this automation, it's actually going to use the get method, it's going to use the API key, and it's going to extract all of your location, your sub-account location IDs, and it's going to put it into a single array, which we can't do much with until we do some other functions to that data. So if you had 10,000 locations, you can imagine the huge array of data that will be included in that. So now in order for us to take advantage of that data from the array, we need to use what's called an iterator. Now inside of the iterator, there's not much except for this right here, and there's nothing for you to change here. Just know that this is going to be used to take advantage of creating bundles out of the array of data that was created in the previous one. So it's going to create separate bundles of data, and it's going to separate it by location ID for each of the locations. Now, the third module is going to take advantage of all of the bundles that the iterator has created, and it's going to use the location API or the location API keys to create the custom value that we define here. So I like naming my modules according to their function. So that's why this module at the end is called Add Custom Value, and I give it the particular name. So if I go into this module, we can see here that I'm using a post on this URL, and I'm authorizing it based upon a specific bearer token for the location that we're applying it to. So again, there's nothing for you to change here. This right here is a variable being pulled and extracted from the second module, which is the iterator. So nothing for you to change, so let's leave that alone. But under the request content area at the bottom of this module, this is where you might want to go to make a change. Okay, so let's say that this was intended for my Mailgun dashboard. So this is a variable that I need to be deployed across all of the sub accounts. Now, in your case, it might be something totally different. So whatever that custom value name is, just change this piece to whatever that new name is. It could be whatever you want. Okay, so whatever that name is, just put there. And I'm just going to leave mine at MG domain. And each custom value will actually have a value box. So whatever value you want to be a part of that, you can also place here. But I'm using example.com as a placeholder because in some situations, this might be unique data that you may want to change per sub account. So that can be done later in a separate video that I can show you. But for now, we're just going in and creating this custom value, which will be used across the board. So now once that's all done, go ahead and click save, or actually click OK. And we're actually ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to click save down here. And what I'm going to do, just so that you can see this running, I'm going to go back into this location ID, and I'm going to put in my agency API key here. So just one moment. Okay, so now that I've got my agency API key loaded in this first module, all that's left is for us to go into the last one. For me, in my case anyway, I'm going to go ahead and make this a separate. I'm going to make this a separate value. So I'm going to say MG domain new 1, just because I need it to be unique across the board. And I'm going to rename this, and I'm going to say 1. Okay, and I'm going to save it again. Now I'm ready to actually run this module. So the only thing is that's left is for us to say run once. We're going to go ahead and click that, and it's done. So just like that. So if we look at the data here, we can see that everything under this output column, under data, locations, we have 4 separate locations. This is an array of data. And then it's going to be put inside the iterator. It's going to create separate bundles. And then it's going to take that bundle of data and put it into this last module. And we want a status code of 200. So if we go to the very bottom under output, we can see status code 200. And now if you were to go into that actual location, you can see that this MG domain new 1 was actually created. And guys, that's all that's needed. If you have any questions, be sure to reach out.